Okay, hello, everybody. Where it's Sunday, September 29th, 7 o'clock. We're doing some live trading here. Just want to show you, started off on gold. As you can see, there was a big imbalance right here. And so I marked that up using this rectangular box here, so you can see that pretty easily. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here so you can see it. Right here is where we have the tools here, and we draw a rectangle like this. And as you know, with imbalances, we're looking at this candle here. And if the candle in front of it and the candle behind it don't meet, that's what we call an imbalance. And so we put a rectangle on there, stretch it right, and then we see that price, even though it goes away from that, nearly always comes back and fills that imbalance. Usually we look for the 50% mark is fairly safe, doesn't always fill the whole imbalance. But this way you can see that the imbalance is actually filled. So that now is gone, and we're going to start another one shortly. So let me just click on this one and get rid of that. And then we're going to go back here to where this is. Usually it's on the brush, but this is where we found the rectangle. And we're looking for more over here. There's nothing. A little one here, but it got filled right here. There's a little one here. There's another little one here. There's another little one here, but these all got filled. If you see any of these, they all got filled. So, that's no good. These all got filled here, but now we've got some on the way up. So we do have an imbalance from the bottom of that wick to the top of that wick. So there is an imbalance there on gold. I do mine on the 5 minute, by the way. So when you see that, I'm up here on the 5 minute here because I'm a scalper and I trade on the 1 minute. So I'm going to mark these imbalances up, excuse me, on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, or the 15 minute. Okay. That's the only imbalance that we see. So we would expect to see this price that's now here come up and hit at least the middle of here. So I'll leave that up. We can keep an eye on that. While we're looking at that, we want to go back to impulse, and we want to see what is happening with gold so that we can see where our entry might be. You can see, hold on, let me take that off there. On the gold here, you can see this is on the 1 minute. We are looking to come back up. If we put that on the 5 minute here, we can see that there is our imbalance. And again, we can go over here and we can mark it on our impulse to show you. This is why I don't really need to use auras at all for these markups because I'm already on here. So hi Ray, hi Tony, hi Nicole. If you could mute yourself out, Nicole, because I'm getting some feedback from you, please.
Hey, John.
Thank you. So that's the imbalance on gold. I've got Tony on the line here with me as well. So Tony, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on that gold for me and see what you think. That's the only
Yeah, I'm
balance.
definitely looking at it right now. I'm marking it up as we speak.
Okay. All right. Well, keep an eye on that for us. And if anything starts moving, give us a shout. We can hop over and have a look at it. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Tony. So that's what we'd be looking at for gold. The only thing is we are, as you can see right here, we are down in a downtrend here. So we've got to come against, we've got to go counter trend to get up into this level here. We do have a crossover here. You know, that's one of our signs. Crossed over here, broke the line here. So we did get this nice push. If we got in here, it was a nice push down to here. And of course, down here, you can see the reason to get out as it crossed back up through the oversold on the stochastic. And it did turn up sharply at the bottom here on the RSI. So we probably would have got out here and waited for a better entry. We can also put our fib on here. As you know, the fib tool is right here. So we can go a run of color. We need at least three of the same color. We've actually got four. So we'll go from the top of that one down to the bottom of to the wick on the blue one there, as you can see there. And we've come up, we're hitting the 50. So it looks like this could then bounce back down and continue downwards. If it breaks through the 618, as you probably know, then we've got to get out of any trade that we were in if we were in a sell trade. But the first sell trade was entry here. Even though it was above the blue line, you can see that we went above it here. We clearly came down it. You can see the blue and the red lines getting narrower and narrower here. So we know it's heading in a different direction. When we get the crossover here, you can also see the Bollinger Bands expanding here and the Bollinger Bands expanding there. So we know there's a change. When we look down here, we can see right here on the stochastic, it peaked around here, didn't even reach the red line and went back down again. And of course, we broke down it tested it here, and finally broke down into the red here. So that was definitely your entry, right where we needed it to be. Okay. So that was definitely your entry, and you would have taken all those pips. And again, the reason you would have got out there was because of this cross up from oversold heading back up again. Now we've got the fib on this. We're waiting to see if the 50 holds or the 618 holds, and then it might go down. But we do have this target area, this imbalance here, so it may go up and come up through there. And if we are in a sell, we want to be out. Right now, I'm waiting to see where this goes. Is it going to reject off this line? Is it going to reject off the 618? Is our last point of resistance? If it breaks through that and goes up here, then we'll have to wait again. We'll have to run fibs again and see where we're at. So that's gold. Tony's keeping an eye on that for us. Has anyone used the macro volume tool on any of these? If not, the macro volume tool shows you where the volume is and where the main price points are, where the main action is. So when you press that, it will pop up. Here, it's not very big because it's Sunday. So it's hard to see on gold. There's not been a lot of trading. It's very narrow range here. But this red line here is what we call the point of control. And that's where the highest number of buyers and sellers are. That's where the most action is. So if we go above that, we're probably looking at coming back to this level. If we're below it, we're probably looking to come back to this level. So we do have a point of control right up here. I'll often put my horizontal ray right here, so I know where it is. It does change. And then if you don't like that there, you can click off it and it'll go away and you've still got the point of control. But the other thing about this is you get some other areas, like there's an area right here. So that's the main area where price is going to. Excuse me, I got a little cough. And there's another area down here, which is quite strong. On the top side, there's not as much strength. And there's no strength further out. But again, Sunday, you wouldn't expect that. When you go to, if you're looking during the week, you'll see this is a much wider range, and you'll see these bars here will be much longer. And usually you've got a big one here, and then there'll be another secondary one maybe up here somewhere, and another secondary one down here somewhere. And that will show you the kind of range that it's likely to trade in. So it is very important. Um, if you want to not use Aura, so again, we'll go back to Aurus, and you see all these lines here are set up at the 5 line. So this is 2665, this is 2670, this is 2675, etc. These are on gold especially, these are often our support and resistance lines, and we look to see whether it's going to come up. So you can see here it tried to break down over here. So let's move this over here so I can show you this clearly. On this line here, it tried to break down, didn't make it, and came back up again. It just tested it, did go through it, but didn't break through it, and it went up. Came through here, actually did break up here, and this is a high test bar for 2675 up here, which, you know, is very high for gold, as you know. Couldn't sustain it and broke back down again. Right here, still resistance, still support, and then finally it breaks through the support, goes down here, starts testing this line, some low test bars and high test bars here, finally broke through this, another high test bar here, but finally broke through this, another high test bar here, broke through this. Now you can see this, we really having difficulty coming through here. It bounced up, not only went through one level, but went to 2 levels, couldn't go through that, came back down to this level, couldn't break it, tested this level a little bit, finally broke it, tested this level. So you can see how these levels all the way along are key areas that you should be looking at. So if you're in a buy here, for instance, and you're getting up to here, you want to be finger on button in case it drops back down off here. As it broke through, we are okay. We can start trailing our stop loss, and we can start looking at this. Again, finger on button, because we don't know whether it's going to stay above this, but it did. This resistance here turned into support here, and off it went again. This one, it couldn't break through. So this stayed as resistance, came back down again. So whenever you approach these levels, just be finger on button, and to make sure it's not going to test and bounce off this, or it's going to go through it and carry on up or carry on down. This one here is still not reaching this imbalance here, but we are in sell mode. Let's go back to impulse again. You can clearly see that we're in sell mode. Still going down, still in the red area here, still headed down from the overbought. We're now oversold. We didn't break this fib at all. So if we were watching this, you know, I was training you there, so I wasn't watching it. But when it doesn't break the 50 fib here, you can then be thinking if it doesn't break, there's going to be a continuation, meaning it's going to start coming down. So we're going to be seeing this heading down, you know, like this. Okay. So we
Hey,
can get,
John.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
So gold, you're looking for it to go down right now? Is that what you're saying?
it's still going right now. It's going down because it's hit this fib level of 50. See this
Right.
level right here?
Yeah.
This 50. If it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
break 50, then it's just a slight pullback and it's going to continue down.
Okay. I have the imbalance set at 2630. Is I found an imbalance. That's like a big dump down,
Oh, from
but
earlier?
yeah.
What's that, on the 5 minute or the
This
15
is
minute
this
you've
is
got
on the
there?
5 minute.
The 5 minute?
Yeah, I went a ways back
Oh, yeah,
to
you went
find
a
it.
long way
Yeah.
back. Let me just take the arrows off here so we can see.
Yeah, I found it about
Oh, wow, way
that
back
one
here somewhere.
September 24th.
Yeah.
I found the imbalance of 2630, and then there's actually another one that I have marked up here for no, never mind that one here. That one was Yeah, that one hit. So yeah, that's the only one that I can find now
Okay.
for the sell. You
Yeah.
know,
So there's a
but
balance here at 26.30 is right here. Can you see that there, guys? I know the candle's kind of small, but it's like around there,
mhm.
somewhere like that. Um, but these can be marked, if when we were at these levels back on 24th of September, we would have these marked up already. It's actually a bit bigger than that. Let's make that a bit bigger. Let's make that a bit bigger. Into about there. Yeah, that's the imbalance there. That one there's another one like right here. What's that at? That's 26.45. What was the other one you said? 26.38?
The other one that I have is no, it was already invalid. The one there's
Oh,
another one that I had marked up at 26.23, but
oh,
that
it's
was a
further
while.
down.
Yeah,
Okay.
26.23 is invalid because it already got hit. So that
Okay.
one doesn't count anymore. So that's the most
Okay.
recent one I have is the 26.30. And for the buy would be 26.75, and then I found one at 26.80.
Okay.
So those are the three
Yeah.
that I have now. So depending on what London does and what happens overnight,
Yeah,
we'll see what happens in the morning.
this one here already was filled. 26.45. Let's get rid of that one.
Yeah, I had the other one at
So 26.30 is about where the next one is down there.
yeah, but if it's gonna go up for a buy, the most recent imbalance, like literally like eight at 18.45 is 26.56 for that big sell that those huge dump that it took. I mean,
26.
there's an
Yeah, that's
imbalance.
what. Well, I got 26.56 right here already.
Okay, okay, I see it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, but we have to see this hasn't broken the fib yet. So, right now it's still heading down. If we get rid of the fib because it hasn't broken, so everyone's clear about that. That's your 50 line. So in impulse, they do a very basic Fibonacci level, and they just have the one, the 618, the 5, and the 0. Um, and There's several ways of doing the Fibonacci. I like doing what they call run of color, where you have to have at least three candles of the same color. In this case, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We start at the top of the first candle of the same color, including the wick, and we go all the way down to the bottom of the next candle that's not the same color. And then we release it, and that gives us our fib. And right now we haven't broken that fib. Now we're going to try and test it again. So we do have to see whether this is, maybe it's testing here, coming down. It's going to test and go up to this imbalance. But it might come down and go, head down to this imbalance down here at about 26.30. So this is how we can, a lot of indicators, guys, that you are not, that we are using are lagging indicators. And some of these that we use, like the imbalances and the Fibonacci, are going to be giving us leading indicators, meaning we can start looking at what price action may be doing in the future. So that's why some of these other tools that you can use up here are very, very important. I'm going to get rid of this fib right now. I can always put it back on again. It's easy because I also want to show you when we put the macro pivot on. Well, that's weird. And yeah, it's not working. Okay. Well, usually these, the macro pivot and the micro pivot will probably look something like, they probably have a, will probably look something like this. You'll have a line going down like this. Is probably one of the pivots hitting all these down here. And what you would be looking at again, this is another thing to see, are we gonna pivot off this line and carry on down, or are we gonna break up? So that's one of the pivot lines that we have here, and we probably got another one actually probably like around here. So again, we're kind of bouncing around here and we have to see what we're going to do. We are in down mode because this trend line is red. This is a little bit indecisive here. Now it's turning up again. So it is trying to break through this micro pivot line, but we are still in sell mode here. So right now we can't take anything. We might, when it hit this blue line, we might, the 50 on the fib, we might have taken a little sell, but we probably would have got out back here again because it wasn't very strong and it wasn't a strong continuation. So right now it's in indecision bar right now. We do have this, we do have the Bollinger Bands pointing down now. So again, this does indicate we could be looking at a down direction. So that would
Hey,
still
John.
be my look at that. Sorry, Ray?
Yeah, just a quick question. What
Yeah.
about the high-low tools? What is that showing?
The high-low tools just show you where the highs of the day and the lows is. So it's basically higher highs and lower. If we put it on here, there's your higher highs right there.
Right, yeah. And then was there some lines before that I mean, there should
And
be.
then, well,
Yeah,
the high-low will
there's one
just
of the
show.
there's one that's one of the lows right there.
Yeah, so that's the low, that's the high, that's the most recent low, that's the most
Uh,
recent high. So with that, that helps you identify where the ranges might be. So
right.
for instance, you can put a line here, and you could put a line along the top here, and that shows you kind of where we're trading between at the moment is between these lines. So we have to really look at where we're going to be breaking out of those. And there's other things that we can break out too. Let me just get rid of some of these. Um, this micro pivot has just shown up here. This one is still here. This one isn't correct. So it doesn't have enough information right now to compute this properly. But this is the macro pivot, I think. So that's micro pivot. So again, we're looking to stay, we need to get above that. It's quite steep though, so I don't even like the look of that one either. But that high low is basically showing you where the high and the low is, which is going to show us basically where our range is going to be. Let's get rid of it. Does that answer your question, Ray?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering if there was. I mean, I use it when I'm doing the trading too.
Okay, yeah.
I was just looking to see. I didn't look at it on my chart to see what it was showing, if there was any kind of diagonals as far as um lows or highs, so we could kind of see where potential breakouts might be.
Yeah, the macro and the micro pivots on here would have shown up at different places along here to show you what's breaking out and what isn't. Unfortunately, unfortunately with Impulse, is they're dynamic tools. So as the pivots move, they move. So
Oh,
we
sure.
can't even
Yeah.
really see where they were back here.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing that I would look at when we're here, when we hit a low here, we can see to the right it's 2643, and we know that 2645 is a thing. So we can move it slightly up here. So we can see it did try and break it, came back, retested it, came back, retested it, and then it shot up. Same with this one. This is pretty much right on the 2665. So, you know, we could move that just a fraction down. 2665 about there, which you can see over here, right here. And we can see again, it came up here and it couldn't break it and came back down. So we're in a nice tight range here. And remember this line here is our point of control, which is right by that high right there, Ray. So we know that there's some a couple of resistance lines up there that we need to be careful of. Right now, what we're doing, as you see, is we're breaking back above. If you remember, this was basically our 50 fib was about here. So again, are we going to break that and go up? Now this fib is actually, it's still valid, that fib, but we've got another fib on the go because we got run of color, 1, 2, 3. So whatever the next color is we can maybe fib it. But if it's a blue, we can't fib it. We have to wait till whatever the red one is. If this breaks up, now we're running along this pivot line and it looks like we could have a little reversal and maybe our target is going to be this 2657 right here. And bear in mind, if you look at this, remember these numbers that I'm quoting are specific, will change depending on your broker. So here, the middle of this is right at 2657. If I go to Aurus, the middle of that is at 26. Oh, it's the same, 2657. So they're actually the same. But sometimes brokers, depending on what broker you use, can be 5, 10, 15, 20 pips different. So don't always look at the exact number, look at how it corresponds with your broker's chart, because the numbers might be slightly different. So be aware of that when I'm calling these numbers out. It might not be on your actual broker, depending on who you use. Okay. Let's go back to impulse again and see what's happening. So we're still waiting to see what's happening. Again, one thing I would urge people, especially new people, is to take these components one at a time and really understand them. So if you take the stochastic here, really understand what the line going up through the red line means and what it means when it comes down through the red line, when it corresponds to what the charts are doing. And the same thing when it bounces off the blue line or comes down and goes up through the blue line. What does that mean to the price action? So get very, very good at using the stochastic. And when you're comfortable with that, then move on to the RSI. That's very much more simpler because you're either in red or you're in blue. But there are some slight variances on here. For instance, you want to be looking at what divergence is. So divergence is measured here. And you can see this is heading down. So this is lower lows. And the same time here, when we measure exactly the same distance above, we can see that this from here to here is heading up. So this is called divergent. So you've got higher highs over lower highs. What divergence means is there's going to be a reversal. So if you were in this buy, you can see this is heading up and the RSI, when you measure, is heading down. You know that what's coming is this reversal. So it's a leading indicator. And if you're in this buy anywhere along here, you would have your finger on button. You would be pulling your stop loss, your trailing stop loss very tight along here, because you know by this divergence here, this divergence, you're going to be looking for this pullback. And there it came and boom, would have wiped out all your gains if you were here. Pretty much would have wiped all your gains up. That was your entry right there, as you all know, because we came up here. We've got the blue cross over here. It is counter trend though. So actually the safer bet, I mean, I would have taken this because the other signals are so strong. but that was actually your entry here when it changed from red to blue. And so all those gains there, if you got in here, would certainly have been wiped out if you stayed in, if you weren't ready for this pullback. Even if you got in here, all those gains would have been wiped out because of this pullback here. And that was clearly indicated down here at the bottom on the RSI. Higher highs over lower highs means a reversal. So that's a very important thing to study on the RSI. So again, get very good at one component of this and just keep laying it one on top of the other. On this one here, we have from here to here, we have convergence because this is higher highs. And obviously from the same here, from here to, I guess, here is higher highs. So higher highs over higher highs. What does that mean? That's not divergence. And so what that means is it's going to continue going up. Once you got to this level here and we started seeing this divergence going on, then that's when you start thinking, am I going to have a reversal? And if you've got these lines drawn up here, you've got this wouldn't have appeared yet because obviously it's not going to appear till it hits there. But your point of control was already there. We drew that up. So we know that's a likely area of reversal. We also know that 2665 is a likely area of resistance. So we're very, very sure that when it gets nearer to this line, we're going to be very wary about what it's going to do. And you might be thinking, yeah, but it could break through and go up. It's not going to do it with this divergence. I can tell you that right now. So that divergence will be telling you, no, it's not going to break through there. The chances of it breaking through there are very slim. And if it does break through a little bit, it's still going to reverse on you because of divergence. So divergence is a very powerful leading indicator. The more leading indicators that we get, the better our trading is going to be because we actually know what's coming up next. This still is trying to go up. It's still not breaking this 50 fib level. It is trailing along the macro and micro pivots. Still got to break that 50 fib. But, you know, here it could turn red again and start shooting down. We just don't know. There is that imbalance that it is looking to reach those. So we're still looking that that could be the target for this area. But it might just hit here and go down here. And let's just have a look. If we draw our other horizontal lines at the other area, that's 2665. There's one at 2660, roughly. 2655. 5, right about there. Doesn't have to be super accurate. And the other one's going to be about 2560 right here. So you can see now on this is gold, remember, that we're trading on. You know, we rejected this one. We broke straight through this one, came here, broke straight through this one, broke through here, but we couldn't make it down here. So we retested, came up here. And now look where we're getting here. We're getting up to this line here. Now we've broken that fib. The fib is no good. We've broken the 50. So this is definitely a larger pullback. It might even be a reversal. We've got to wait and see what else happens. We broke through this stochastic here, right on this candle before. So breaking up through there, you could have taken an entry here. And this is just about to break through the blue. And if it does, it will be still counter trend, but we might be seeing a reversal going on here. Any questions on any of that? Is that clear for everybody? Again, we haven't seen a real entry on.
Can be.
Thank you, Tony. We haven't seen a real entry on while we've been on. This one here, which came in just before we started on the session. Actually, it was quite a bit away.
I think it's going to hit that imbalance that we have marked up, and then it's going to continue down. The
Yeah,
imbalance at 26.56 because it's already almost there.
yeah,
And then it'd be a good time to look for the sell. But patience is key, and just wait to see what the market does. But I'm pretty sure it's going to hit it.
yeah, exactly. And we started right about here, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there was no real entries there. Your real entry was a bit earlier here, around 6 o'clock, to go in for a sell and get out here. And that was a pretty clear signal from Impulse to get in. So if you were trading before the call, that would have been a good one. If you were trading earlier over here, although this is counter trend, it did have a lot of strong indicators saying we should go in. And if I put my candles back on, yeah, let's see. See all these red arrows, red arrows, red arrows. We've got a blue arrow, but we're still counter trend. The blue's still below. We got blue, blue, blue. So we got 3 blues. We did get a red, but then here we go. 1, 2, 3 blues. And we've got the we've got the Bollinger Bands heading upwards here. So again, this is heading up and this is heading up. So that is showing us this is one I always caution people about taking counter trends. But when you get more experience, this is kind of counter trend that you probably would take, simply because you did have the bounce off here and it went up and you did cross over into the blue right here. So you are in blue mode. Let's get rid of these divergence lines so it's not so confusing.
Yeah, that's a good point out, John, for the counter trend trade.
Yeah.
But is if you're experienced with risk management as well, and if you're taking a counter trend trade, as long as your risk management is correct and your stop loss is set pretty good, I mean,
Yeah.
you should be fine. I mean, if it hits it, it hits it. But if it doesn't, then you get to ride the wave up. And
Yeah, and if you had your PSARs on here, I don't have them marked up on here today, but we went through that in an earlier training. That's what I like to use for my stop losses. But you probably your PSARs would probably have been from here to about here. I would say. Then they would have leveled out probably to here.
mhm.
No. Then they would have probably started going up like this again. Then probably again up here. And so none of these would have got you out until you're probably about there. It's probably where your PSAR would have hit around there. So, you would have started your stop loss literally right here. And then as the price moved up, you're moving your stop loss up here. You would have left it here for a little while to see what happens. It still is going up. So you would have kept bringing your stop loss up on each PSAR along here. Keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. You probably would have stopped around there, maybe there. And anyway, as this came back down into the white area here, you would have got out here. You would have finger on button here because that's a reversal. With the divergence here that we're looking that it's about to turn around. So you'd have been ready to get out here anyway. Even if you didn't and you were off making coffee or something, your stop loss would have been hit around here. You would have lost a couple of pips, but not that much. And those PSARs are, I just love them for being able to manage a trade with your stop loss and trailing all the way up. Yeah, definitely there was your entry here. Bouncing off the blue here and going up. So that is definitely your entry right there. And as you can see all the way up through here, we're not breaking this blue line at all. So again, there's no reason to get out, no reason to get out. You actually might have got out here where the candles went into the white area. So I wouldn't blame you if you got out here at all. Except you're still well in the blue range here. You would have been nervous about this divergence here. So you might have thought, well, this is it. We're not going up to this line. This is it. We're having a reversal there. I'm in the white zone. I'm out. And also right here, you can see this turns down. So, and the Bollinger Bands are getting narrow. So actually, in this area here would not have been a bad exit at all. You'd have probably had to be very brave to take it up to that line there. But it's certainly, because it is a resistance line on gold, that is something that we'd definitely be looking at. Okay. And here we go. Look at this. So now we've just wicked into, look at that right there, 26.56. Right in the middle of that imbalance. So again, this is why these imbalances are so important, because if you know that the price is going to go up back to this, once we drew it here, no matter that it went down first, we're always looking for it to come back up to this middle level here and take out this imbalance. And that's exactly what it did. If I take that out, it might still go up a bit more, but it pretty much, for my mind, if I got it to wick up to there, I would be out. Now, it could still go up. Doesn't mean that it's only going to stop at the 50% range. But it also, from here, it could fill that imbalance, and then down it goes again. So, we have to see what's happening now. I am on the 5 minute. Let me just change this to the 1 minute, and let's see what that all looks like on the 1 minute. Why is it not changing? Yeah, see, on the 1 minute, which is what we actually trade on, you would have seen it wick up almost the middle here. And as it started retracing back down again, you see right here. So on the 1 minute, which is what we're trading on, you definitely would have got out here. See, as we got out in this white area here, that's a signal to get out. We dropped through the red area, the overbought here. That's the signal to get out. This line here is heading down quite sharply and went straight into the red. So all those signs would give us a way to get out. And always remember, we are in a downtrend. So we are looking for this trend to continue down. All it did is it wicked up here to the imbalance, and then it's probably just going to continue down. It has to fill the imbalance. What an imbalance is, it's orders that have been placed by market makers, by buyers and sellers, and they have not been filled. So there's people with orders here that have not been filled. So typically we see the market coming up and filling those orders, or most of them, and then continuing on its way down. You can see right here, the blue is also getting closer to the red. So we'll probably see a crossover down here, probably when it breaks this pivot line, and you'll see it come down again. All right, we broke into the red here, so we're in sell mode. We definitely went down here, so we're in sell mode. And if you were in a buy here, you would have got out there, but you'd be looking to get in. No, that's too high. You'd be looking to get in if it goes into this gray zone here. So if the gray zone goes like this, and this Bollinger Band up here starts going like this, when you get in this area here, it's a blue candle right now. But when we get into that zone there, let's get rid of some of this because it's this zone here. If it goes down from here into this zone, then yeah, we're going to see a continuation down. All right, guys, I'm going to turn the recording off right here so that we can answer any questions that you might have. Stop recording.